Hey, thank you everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Dad Deleted. And so I'm sorry that it's been about a week since I last uh, put an episode out. Sorry things got a little crazy. I know everybody here can relate. We're in the middle of the coronavirus self quarantine. And anyway, hope everyone is doing well. And if you're not, I hope you get better. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about the remainder of 2013. And really, there are no, again, we're still very early on in the alienation, although things are starting to happen and there have been some harbingers of things to come, right? There have been some red flags, and I'm recognizing them. And of course, I'm getting pushback from mom. Uh, what I wanted to talk about today was just the overall contentiousness of the relationship. And again, that's not abnormal in a divorce situation. There's a reason that people who get divorced, right? Um, they can't get along. They have problems uh, dealing with strife or disagreements. So it's not that it's not that uh, there's that back and forth that necessarily is troubling. It is the degree to which it happens, and the uh, consistency, just the amount of strife that you're dealing with. It will feel as though there's something almost every day. And here's the thing: if one person is the driver for this strife, for these, there's always an issue. Pay attention to that. Um, so again, an overall just constant, problems, right? There are problems directed at me, like, um, and I would say this: there were other issues. For example, I had the kids every other weekend, right? Um, and when I had the kids, that's 2 days. Really, it's Friday night through Sunday evening, and so you're talking about 48 hours, really, every 2 weeks. And so, mom would want to talk to the kids during my time, and it would not be even a short phone call. It would be 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and I did not. Again, I was pretty passive. I I didn't want my kids to see me as a bad guy, right? So I let them talk. In retrospect, right, looking back, I wish I had stopped that before it got started. And honestly, there's no reason for the primary custodial parent to talk to the kids uh, during the weekend of the non-custodial parent. That parent has the kids about 73 to 80% of the time, depending on exactly the structure of your custody agreement. And so that time with the other parent is really vital in developing and continuing that bond uh, with the kids. And so if you have a parent who is constantly interjecting themselves, that's a clue. You may be dealing with some parental alienation. It's a situation where um, parental alienation works best. Number one, when the kids are young, of course, but it works best when there is that constant and consistent reinforcement of the behaviors that alienating parent expects. And so even when the kids are with the targeted parent, you've got a situation where the only way that that parent can continue, the only way that an alienating parent can continue to reinforce those behaviors, or to even reinforce beliefs, reinforcing the belief that, you know, I know you don't want to be at your dad's, even if the kids don't say it. I know you don't want to be at your dad's. I know you'd rather be with me, but it's okay. I remember, Mom, when we would be at pickup or when we would be at drop off. So when I was getting the kids, I noticed pretty early on these hand signals that she and the kids would do, but it was especially her. And then as time went on, the kids reciprocated more and more, and pretty soon, within a few months, it was this secret language, this code that they were dealing with. But some of the code was not very secret or not very sly. So, for example, when we would be leaving, Mom would hold up two fingers, which meant just 2 days, just 2 more days. So right off the bat, inserting into the kids' minds that this is something that had to be dealt with. This is something that had to be gone through, okay? And later on, it'll really ramp up. That message will ramp up, and it will increase in strength and fervor, and so we'll talk about that later. Another thing that was a clue. It's normal at pickup and drop off for kids to be upset because they don't want their parents to be divorced in the first place. They don't want to have 2 houses. They don't understand why are mom and dad not together. But here's the thing that moms and dads do that actually cause more stress to their kids. They hang on for dear life at drop off. They cry. That's not the time. So here's the thing. Even if you're not an alienating parent, if you're not an alienated parent, if you're just a parent and you're divorced, you're separated, listen to this. When you drop your kids off to the other parent, be happy for your kids. Show them, even if you are a wreck inside, even if you're going to miss your kids, show them that you are happy for them, that they get to spend that time with the other parent. And explain to them and express to them and encourage them to have fun and to love their other parent. That's the best thing you can do. The worst thing you can do is to cry and tell them how horrible it is that they have to go, or how much you're going to miss them, and how sorry that you are that they have to go and do this thing, right? You're not helping. You're putting pressure on the kids. You're putting the kids in a position where they have to choose. And so don't do that. If you're in a mild to moderate alienation situation, that's one thing that you can do, and you and your spouse can agree to not do that to your kids. So don't. If you're in a severe alienating situation, that parent's going to do that on purpose, okay, because they've got a plan, and that plan doesn't involve you, I guarantee you. So you're not going to be able to talk to that person. You're not going to be able to rationally agree to ground rules. You can try. God bless you if you do. Another thing, going back to the conversations, talking when they're with the other parent. Look, if the non-custodial parent has the kids for a week or 2 or some extended time for a holiday or summer vacation, then like for a week, maybe 2 calls in that week should be sufficient. Just and they shouldn't be long calls, just enough to touch base and say, I love you and I'm thinking of you and I hope you're having fun with mom, or I hope you're having fun with dad. That's what it should be. All right? But nothing more. And what mom would do is she would want to talk to the kids every day during any time that I had them. because again, it's keeping that connection. It is keeping close tabs on them. And also, just so you know, these are not calls where it's like, oh, I miss you so much, I can't wait to see you. You know, although I don't think that should happen. These are questions. Well, what are you guys doing? What time are you getting up? Are you getting lunch? Are you getting breakfast? What's dad feeding you? You know, where did you guys go today? I mean, it's this constant barrage. It is fact finding. It's information gathering. And by the way, that information, the sole purpose of that information is to be used against you in a court of law. Okay? And that's at worst. At best, the situation is that information is going to be reminded to, it's going to be used to remind the kids that, well, you know, dad didn't feed you breakfast until 10 o'clock in the morning, or, well, dad didn't take you anywhere special. I thought you guys were going to go to the park, but, you know, now never mind that it rained that whole day, right? He didn't take you to the park. He promised. He broke his promises. Dad breaks a lot of promises. And it's that kind of subtle and not so subtle manipulation and brainwashing that eventually drives the kids to a position of belief in what mom or dad, the alienating parent, what they have to say. Make no mistake, this is purposeful, it is mindful, and it is consistent. And by the way, anything that you get wind of, anything that you see, okay, it is like you've seen that, everybody's seen a variation of this theme. There's an image of an iceberg, and what you see above the waterline is this small piece of this magnificent chunk of ice. And, you know, 90% of it is underwater and you don't see it. And that's the part that, you know, kills you. You ram your boat into it, shreds it, right? Hashtag, you know, Titanic, Leo should have got on he could have fit. He could have fit on the door. I know I'm getting off track. He could have fit on the door. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway, that's the same thing with alienation. All right. What you see is just a small sliver. What they allow you to see, what you accidentally see, is just a small part. The stuff that you don't see, that's the stuff that's going to kill your relationship with your kids. It's going to destroy you as a parent. So just keep that in mind. Don't think that, oh, well, this is all there is. No, that's all you see. And the bad stuff, you definitely are not seeing that. So, another thing that I saw in 2013 as the school year was going on, so the kids were homeschooled by mom. And so I would ask for grades. How are the kids doing? Are they doing well in school? And the only response I would get, kids are doing great in school. Well, what are their grades? All A's. All A's all the time. My kids are geniuses. I mean, I'm pretty smart. My kids, hopefully they take after me. I didn't make all A's all the time, but apparently my kids did. And so then I would say, well, can I see any, can you show me some things that they're doing? Are they, you know, drawing? Are they writing? What are they studying? You know, nothing. She wouldn't send me anything. She wouldn't even send me copies with the kids at drop off. You think that would be easy enough, you know? Show dad some of the stuff you've been doing. But nothing. So again, it's that keeping information from you. Of course, if your kids are in school, oldest trick in the book is to leave the other parent off of all the forms for the school. So when they list mom or dad, they put themselves down, and when they put for the other person, they may even put the step parent down, but they won't put you down. They should. Now, if they want to add the step parent for contact, they can do that. That's fine, but don't leave mom or dad off. again, that is creating in the kids a sense of you not being, you're just another person, right? You're not mom, you're not dad. And to that point, earlier, a couple episodes ago, I talked about how my kids would call me by my first name. And I don't think I brought this up, but it's really, really important to understand the psychology behind that. And really what it comes down to is if you're not mom or if you're not dad, if your first name, so for me, we'll just go with Larry again. If my kids think that I'm Larry or that they're supposed to call me Larry, well, that doesn't differentiate me from 99% of the rest of the planet. Okay? Bob, Joe, Sue, Larry. But mom has a very specific meaning, and it's a title that's very important. Dad has a very specific meaning and it's a very important title, and it conveys respect. It conveys obedience. It conveys honor, right? But if you take that away from one of the parents by saying, "Oh, this is Larry, not dad," or "This is Sue, not mom," then you're degrading that person. You're elevating that person. You're removing them from their place of honor. You're removing them from that place of respect, and you're lowering them and putting them on par or on the same level as any other person that they might meet in this wide, wide world. So it's not some accident, and it's not no big deal. It is a huge deal. That's why they're doing it. So just keep that in mind. I think that's all we're going to talk about in this episode. I hope that helps. The next episode, we're going to talk about resources that are out there, books and experts that you need to become aware of, that you need to get their materials and start studying them so that you fully understand what you're up against. And so anyway, thank you so much for joining and have a great day. And as always, remember, love your kids.